All right, here, let me have a drink because I'm galloping through my videos today. This is a vocal video. This is me working on the need for words again. And the very, suddenly after long lull of lots of bloviating, on my point of view, bloviating, we're getting into the meat of the text here. Um, and the chapter 5 voice into words and text um, where Patsy Rudenberg is giving us actual exercises to do. And now, after bitching about not getting any exercises, now I'm complaining the exercises are too tough. So I'm just breaking them up. I'm going to do them as I go along, and we'll see what resonates and what doesn't. This is epic storytelling section that we're going. We've had an example of epic storytelling. I kind of read that out last time of from Oedipus Rex, I think it is, recounting the suicide of Oedipus's mother, and Oedipus using the brooches of his mother's from his mother's swinging corpse to stab out his eyes, and all being reported in a very dramatic way. And so this is, the idea of it's important to have a beginning, a middle, and an end. Kind of tell it as it's kind of like freshly experienced. And if you allow emotion to detract from the primary need to tell the story, you will be awash with grief. The story will short circuit and cut off. Don't pull off the rawness of the words. Be specific and make each word concrete. Trust the telling and the tale. And so here's the simple exercise that you can do. You can use the most mundane activities and situations as subject matter. Start with a low stakes and level up the speaking in stages. So first, describe the exact route you take to get from home to work. From this description, the listener should get a clear and precise plan of the journey. It will probably sound very dull and prosaic. So let's start off with that. All right, I bike to work each day. I come out of the gate, shutting the gate behind me. I go down the little street out here, down, enter into the park. I take the trail along the gorge waterway here, dinging my bell as I go for any pedestrians who are walking, because I'm sharing the road, sharing this trail with pedestrians. I take this along the water up a slightly steep gravel hill, back down to the next side where we get into kind of a concrete. There is a concrete walk that goes along the water that way, which is much more thing. I go to my left, go along a trestle bridge, which is made all of wood, and you boom 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 across it. There's a little metal plate at one point, so I bonk over. I go along this thing. There's a rise. I go up. I go down. There's being careful with pedestrians along the way, maybe ringing the bell if somebody starts wandering out of the way, but trying to keep one side or the other. Get over the trestle bridge. I go by kind of a restaurant marina on one side. I continue along. This is all now cement. It's the Lochside Trail. Continue along here. I go under an overpass along kind of a wooded area along here. Continue along up that. I get to a little bit of an intersection where there's a road that comes across it. I go to my right here, where there is a sort of an alleyway which has got little businesses on each side. There's automotive on one side. There's like a city works thing on the other side. There's a sign place. There's a woodworking place. As I'm going along, there's what looks like kind of automotive stuff, kind of cleaning stuff going on here. There's the underside of a building. On one side has parking for cars. On the other side, there is kind of just open back parking to the back of the buildings that are facing onto the main road that I come up to. Main road. This little side street is the start of Tolmy Road. Yeah, Tolmy Road. don't quote me on that. Tomi Road. Get to there. There's a light. I sit there at the light. I, oftentimes I will press the button when the walk goes. I try and get out before the cars start going. I go past a mall. I go past a big mall on one side, up over to the next big crossroad. I hit the thing there, and then I'm going up the hill, and then I've been going up the hill for the mall, and then I continue going up the hill, past the big road, past the mall, all the way up to the next corner, which actually has got my bike shop, just set back from a grocery store. I turn right onto Quadra. I take Quadra along more up as well, past houses on one side and houses on the other side, all the way up to the next thing, which actually I think is it's Fitzgerald. And I get into the left turning lane and I cross. This is a school zone, so oftentimes there are flag persons there who are, will hold traffic and will hold anyone turning left until all the pedestrians have gotten over. I turn left, take Fitzgerald all the way up, continuing up, along kind of very kind of wooded area there with lots of houses, but also just more of the trees are overhanging. It's a bit more of a pleasant area. I go along there. I get to Cook Street and I turn left onto Cook Street. I take Cook Street. This is where there's a little bit of a dip down, and then I'm going up again. And this is probably the steepest little area here. It's double lane traffic, and I'm in one of the lanes, and I'm usually over as much. But it can be hard for cars to get around me sometimes. They usually, depending on how careful they are, they'll either zoom by me or they'll just kind of move over a little bit. Do that. I come up to the next Cedar Hill Crossroad is right there, and I get into the left turn lane. I go down. And then I turn on to what's I think is also there's Cedar Hill Crossroad, and then there's going to turn into Fernwood, and I get onto Fernwood, and pretty much I'm at the house. Go up the driveway to the house, park. Just lean it against the thing, get my stuff out, get the bike chains out, which I forgot yesterday. Drag it around there's stairs at the back of the house. I navigate the bike in, I chain up the bike, and I'm at work. So that is a very prosaic version of that. So now describe the same journey, but this time imagine an overpowering event occurring along the way, a chaotic traffic jam or sudden storm. Use the strongest yet simplest words as a part of your description. All right. So, yes, I leave the house at my regular time. The sun is shining. It seems like it's going to be just another regular day. I'm through the park. I'm across the trestle. I take the turn going up to the little alley going up to the first main road. When as I come up, I realize that the traffic just seems to be at a complete standstill. There's tons of honking and yelling, and people seem really angry. You can see people yelling at each other. I can see people with Canadian flags kind of hanging out their windows. They seem to be yelling back at other people. And it's just like it's complete chaos. I'm on my bike, and luckily, even in a kind of a jam like that, I managed to kind of weave my way through. Yeah, there's people being really angry. I just try and kind of keep to myself, keep going over. I get past the first major road there. It's like, what the hell's going on? I go past the mall, which everyone seems to be kind of still kind of gridlocked. I get to the next major road, Blanchard Road, and it is still completely packed. There are there's cars stretching out from each direction as far as the eye can see, and there's more of these people with Canadian flags hanging out of their cars, honking and yelling, and there's people that seem to be yelling back at them. There's also just a lot of people who are just like, God, they're just like kind of grumbling and, not happy, but just kind of keeping to themselves. I get past that and I continue along and I get up to the next major road and that one is blocked as well. And that one is, and, so I kind of weave. I actually take a side road to get up to the other, to the. I go kind of, I divert my route to get up to the other side. When I finally get to Cook Street, it is blocked as well. There's no, people with flags, but there's just like a ton of traffic here, just so much traffic, and I have to kind of pick my way carefully, and make sure I don't get, people get frustrated. They can kind of start getting careless or start moving suddenly. A guy kind of cuts out. Cuts out from the traffic at one point and goes into the bike lane where I am, and I'm like ringing my bell, and he's just like, yeah, whatever, kind of, and I kind of give him a dirty look as I bike by because he can't get anywhere. He just did that, but he can't get anywhere. And I do all that. I get to work. Lock up the bike and go inside to find out what the heck's going on. And that's when I see on the radio that there's these massive protests happening, and that kind of a small concentrated group of people have all come to the island to protest something. God knows what. But that's what happened. So that is. Now repeat the journey a third time with an overpowering event, but this time add some huge, unstoppable consequence that follows from the event. The earth opens to swallow all the traffic. A cyclone carries it away. All right. So, wow. I cannot believe what happened yesterday. I, left home at the usual time. I, bike through the park, over the trestle bridge, up to the kind of the little side alley that I take to get to the major traffic. I get there and the road is completely clogged with traffic, and there's people screaming and yelling at each other, and there's these really angry people with Canadian flags, and they're all kind of scowling and shouting kind of really kind of horrible kind of racist and paranoid stuff. Just really like, holy cow, these people have taken whatever pill there is to take, and they've taken way too many of them. I kind of weave through trying to keep well clear of them. I'm going past them all when I look up, and there is suddenly I see two guys in the middle of the intersection of the next thing up, who've got things on their shoulders, and they're pointing them. And at first I think, oh, those are cameras. That it's like old time cameras. Not thinking, hey, this is 2023 and there's not old time cameras. But then as I'm coming up, I realize suddenly things explode from them, and I realize they have rocket launchers, and they start launching rockets, one way or the other, and there's huge explosions, and people are screaming, and everyone is trying to get the hell out of there, but it's complete gridlock, so everyone is just running, and I actually have to kind of drag the bike over to the side not to get stampeded, to get knocked over, or to get like run over by some of these people in the cars who are just completely panicking, just flooring it to try and desperately get out, but you can't get out. In that situation, I end up kind of just taking shelter behind a building as like rocket blast after rocket blast happens, I've just kind of pull the bike up against me, and I'm like kind of in a huddle as just like there's explosions and everything is going along without me, and in the end things go quiet and there's people running everywhere, and I just kind of guide the bike through, and I keep on biking to work because at this point it's like in some state of a national emergency and it's shift change and I need to be at work. I text home quickly and just say I'm fine. I'm almost at work. I'm just going to stay at work, where that's probably the best place to be. Stay at home yourself. Do not go out. Holy crap! I have no idea what the hell is going on. I get myself to work. I mean, there's people running around everywhere. There's people driving at high speeds in all different directions. There's helicopters overhead. Um, there's gunshots in the distance coming from the legislature building. It's just like it is complete chaos. And so I get myself to work. I think buck up thing. I talk to my coworkers. Trying to reassure everyone is there. And we turn on the news to find out what the hell is going on. And that was my day to work. All right. Now the fourth telling of the journey, the overpowering event plus the unstoppable consequences meet up with a new power which saves the day and brings you safely to work. Oh, okay, I was supposed to safely get to work that way. All right. This is exhausting. All right. So it was just a regular day. I got on my bike to go to work. I, went through drove through a nice sunny kind of relaxed park, up over the wooden bridge, the wooden bridge. We'll just call it the wooden bridge since I've lost the name of it. And everything seemed quiet and calm and like just a beautiful day, September day in Victoria. And yeah, I was going along. I turned up Mount Tomey and not Tomey Road, the little alley that's going to turn into Tomey Road, and I could see that there was something going on up in the distance. And it's like, oh God, there's tons of cars. And yeah, sure enough, as I got closer, there's a tons of cars. There's a whole bunch of cars, flying Canadian flags of really angry people who are yelling, a lot of racist stuff, a lot of kind of violent stuff. And it's like, oh God, it's them again, because we've had issues with that in the past. I go past, I kind of just keep my distance. I have to kind of go down the street a little bit, but there's like just a gap in the road where I can just wheel my bike through. And I do that, kind of being careful not to get, smooshed by a car, get everyone to see me. And for the most part, people are, they're frustrated, but they're fairly understanding that I'm just some cyclist. Um, so I get up and I'm just going past the mall, going towards the next major road that kind of bisects Victoria Blanchard. And I see two guys standing on the flatbed in the flatbed of a truck, and they've got what looks like maybe huge cameras on their shoulders. But this is me thinking about like old huge cameras that people would have to film stuff, and it's like, oh, maybe they're filming stuff. But then I realized they've got a Canadian flag, and then suddenly out of the ends things erupt, and I realize, holy shit, they are rocket launchers, and they just launch them in either direction into the cars that are sitting gridlocked on the streets. And everything just goes crazy, and there's more guys with more rocket launchers, and they're doing it, and there's explosions coming from behind me at the first major street and this one in the major street, and I can hear gunfire. And I just grab my bike, and I just kind of take shelter behind a thing. I kind of hold the bike over me, and I'm just kind of like huddling in place as people are just screaming and running everywhere, and it's just chaos. There's like the explosions are coming closer, and I realize that behind me the mall explodes, and like somebody has either set something off right up against it or something, but a huge explosion just rocks the whole place. And Suddenly from overhead there are helicopters, and it is and there's a sound of sirens, and like there's police officers coming everywhere from every direction, and people are just running and screaming. And I it's like I realize I'm probably not in a safe spot anymore. I'm like right up against the wall, and it seems to be one of the targets. So I kind of make my way through across the road. There's there's continuing to be stuff. I get up to the next road, and I'm like in shock. And suddenly Ed, a guy from work, pulls up and says, "Holy shit, are you okay?" And I say, "Yeah." And I tell him what's going on. There's like, "Okay, throw your bike in the back." Throw his bike in the back, and he floors it, and he takes me to work. As I'm getting to work, I call my wife, and let her know that I am okay, and that by no means she or Jackie should leave the house. It's like, I'm safe at the house. I'm we're just going to see how things go. I am at work. I need to be, there for the residents there. You guys take it easy at home, and we'll just check and see where we are at, by the end of work. And that, so Ed gets me to work. I say, okay, I guess maybe I'll see you later, depending on what the situation is like, how locked down or things are, because he's got to go off on his own thing. So I go into the house and reassure everyone there, let the coworkers who are leaving know what's going on and where you really need to avoid, and also probably, obviously, it's a national emergency. Just turn on the radio and just find out what the situation is, and probably sheltering in place, though. By this point, it could be, where is the safest place for everyone to be? It seems like we're out of it, and that was me getting to work that day. All right. So notice that in each of these steps, those are the 4 stories, and that is a workout and a half. You can, of course, extend this exercise on epic storytelling any direction you choose. The important thing is to experience how varied and precise your words become. Were my words varied and precise? I don't know. The speaker, as the story intensifies, becomes more and more emphatic, and by your telling of the tale, as it becomes more urgent, may also become clearer and simpler. The more impassioned you become, the more control you can exert. I mean, the first very prosaic telling of the story was really boring with lots of mind-numbing details. When you get, there's an event there, you kind of quickly fast forward to the event. All the stuff leading up to it is not. Though, on one of those tellings, I actually did stop to go like, it was a calm, beautiful, serene day leading up to the event, and then this thing happened. And then she goes with, other ways of doing this exercise. So you could describe a meal, a meeting, a revealing of a secret, a love affair, a happy one, a sad one. So that is the epic storytelling exercise, which, I mean, if I'm looking for ideas for telling stories, that's not a bad thing. Of take a very prosaic event, and then say, okay, what's something calamitous that can happen in the middle of this event, and then use that to build up a story around it. So that is, that is Patsy Rudenberg's The Need for Words. I got what I wished for, and maybe I got a little bit more than I wished for in this epic storytelling kind of exercises. But that is actually, it's a good point for going forward, is the idea of communicating with people, of making videos, is making stories that people want to listen to. So it would behoove me to be a better storyteller. What story do I want to tell with each video, and how can I build up? How can I have a beginning and a middle and an end to that story that I am trying to tell, in as concise and precise a way as possible? All right, I will leave it there. More videos later.